Well, hello dear viewers and welcome to Level Up Reviews Extra. Today I will talk about Ultima Online. Let's jam! Well, Ultima Online. This game has a lot of die-hard followers. And to be perfectly honest with you, I myself am not that big of an MMORPG fan. I prefer single-player RPGs. Luckily, most people who play Ultima Online are very nice, so please go easy on me. Origin Systems and Richard Garriott wanted to create MMORPG Ultima game for years before it actually came out. John von Arstellen was trying to get the start of development of the game they called Multima or Multiplayer Ultima in 1987 and 1988, but there was no market for it, nor was there technology, so it was dropped. More serious attempt was done in 1990, with Dr. Cat in charge. Origin was collaborating with Genie Online Services. They were almost done with the deal, but AOL intervened and offered better deal. This deal was more than likely offered to drive a wedge between Origin Systems and Genie, since they pretty much backed out immediately. Genie decided to put the project on hold, and shortly after Dr. Cat actually left the company. In 1994, Richard Garriott seriously started thinking about Ultima Online. He started pitching ideas to EA, but EA executives were not really interested. Other MMOs, like Meridian 59, did not do so well. Not to mention, Ultima sales were down. Wing Commander series did much better. So EA thought that time of the games, set in medieval settings, was gone. Especially with such risky, untested genre like MMOs. EA would not accept Richard Garriott's ideas, but Richard would not give up. After multiple times he was denied, Richard made an offer. He asked for $250,000 for this project. EA reluctantly agreed. More likely, they just agreed to get Richard Garriott off their back. Development team was minimal. They had to work in a hallway, not figuratively, literally, because offices were undergoing a construction. So, to remedy the problem of lack of money, they created a website. Origin was asking for volunteers to playtest the game, but the game was too big to distribute it online, so they asked for $5 to send players CDs. This was a novel concept. EA was not impressed. They expected around 30,000 units to be sold. They doubled the stats of most popular MMOs of those times, because they thought Ultima name would bring larger revenue. But when 50,000 people volunteered, EA started to sing a different tune. Origin finally got everything they needed. And more. Unfortunately, more in this case was bad. EA kept sending managers who really wanted to stand out. They realized that project would be highly successful, so they basically made Origin Systems and Richard Garriott's life a nightmare. Nevertheless, they were moving forward. They even hired new people and created new positions, like online community manager, which baffled most people. They were just surprised that they would hire a person just to talk to people and learn their grievances. One of those grievances, which didn't get addressed, was that servers were too slow, and players actually found a creative way to make development team notice them and take care of their problems. In protest, people rushed the castle, took all of their clothes off, started drinking and vomiting on the floor while cursing. Richard was fascinated by this. There were more problems. Too many players crushed the game. To fix this problem, they needed to split the servers. 20-odd copies of the world were created. And of course, Richard being Richard, he could not let this go without an in-lore explanation for this. When Mundane's Gem of Immortality was broken, the shards from it splintered and created different copies of the world. And of course, if one managed to gather up all the shards and deliver them to Lord British, he would theoretically be able to unite the world. Yes, the word shard that is so widely used in MMORPGs comes from Ultima Online. Finally, on September 24th, 1997, game was released. Before this, servers were wiped clean. Everyone was supposed to start from the square one. Lord British was going from town to town to give speeches. In Moonglow, players actually bent over and mooned Lord British. Everywhere he went, he was accompanied by fanfare and excitement. But most interesting thing happened in City of Trinzic. You see, Lord British's character was immortal. But when the game was wiped clean, he had to create a new character. Unfortunately, he forgot to turn his immortality on. Not realizing this, in Trinzic during this speech, when a player hurled a fire spell at him, Richard Garriott saw nothing of it. Lord British, trying to show off, stepped through flames, only to see his character drop dead. The angry developers revived Lord British and summoned demon hordes, dragons, and other tough monsters to kill the players. But the player who killed him, Reigns, got away, becoming a legend and main antagonist to Lord British. Lord British even vowed to get Reigns back, although I still do not know if he actually got him back or not. This game pretty much started a lot of the tropes that accompany MMORPGs. The bots immediately started gold mining, since you could actually sell digital items in real world. People even used the game for money laundering. You could actually build houses and even cities in this online world. You start a game by creating a character. You can choose your race, sex, and craft. Gameplay is simple. You click on enemy if you want to attack and use a book to cast the spells. You also can fish in this game. Chance of catching it is 50-50. It was one of the most popular activities when the game first came out. When you die, you turn into a ghost, although you can walk up to a healer that can revive you. But of course, what made Ultima Online special were people. This is why I didn't really know how to review this game. So, I will be relying on Wes Locker's book, Braving Britannia, which is definitely recommended. Britannia in its time had a lot of unique players and guilds, a lot of whom later on moved to different MMOs, like Guild Syndicate, guild created even before game launched. By emails, their color was blue and grey, and at one point they grew so large that if they added a new player, the server would crash. There were also orcs, guild built by Uguaguk and Uguk, named Shadow Clan. The guild had strict hierarchy. The players were required to have greenish skin. They spent most of their time fighting, or robbing other players of gold and sweets. There was also Imperium of Trinzic, who would not let non-guild members equip plate armor in their territory. Of course, individual players also stood out, like Evil M, PKer, who murdered more than 600 players, and his partner in crime Azuko, the craftsman who made most of his weapons and armor. They wreaked havoc across Britannia. No bounty hunter could actually stop them, not for the lack of trying, mind you. But Evil M had code of chivalry. He would not just kill any player. Once he killed a new player, but after reading her diary he was touched, and he decided never to kill a new player or weak player. After this, Evil M would only take on stronger players, and sometimes even defend weaker players from stronger ones. Martha Stewart was a player some people can have fond memory of. She made custom lunches for people. Later she became Consular Pan, named from her favorite movie, The Hook. Cazola's Tavern was an awesome place to hang out. A lot of people loved this place. They held storytelling events, and this place even got blessing from Lord British. Lizzie T was one of the most interesting players. She would plan weddings in UO. Lots of people got married in this game, and in real life afterwards. Lizzie T officiated a lot of weddings. She even managed to officiate one in Stygian Abyss, while the guests were having fun fighting demons. Soon Origin released its first expansion. Second Age came out on October 1st, 1998. It introduces new area called Lost Lands, alongside with new creatures and support for player-built cities. Second expansion, Renaissance, was released in April 3rd of 2000, splitting the world into Felucca, a darker world, and Trammel, world where player killing was not allowed. The event that triggered the split was created. Minax would attack cities with her undead army, and after players were defeated, Lord British would appear and lead the players to the safety of Trammel. In North America, everything went according to plan. North America had great individual players who fought valiantly but were defeated nonetheless. In Japan, on the other hand, situation did not go quite so smoothly. They did not have individual powerhouses like in North America, but they managed to organize quickly and managed to beat Minax's army back in 3 of the servers. Developers could not spawn any more monsters because it would crush the server. Europeans, on the other hand, were role players. They were not really interested in fighting, so while Minax's army was attacking, they just stayed home. Nevertheless, Lord British appeared in all of the servers and led players to safety, which must have been very confusing for some of the Japanese players, but what are you gonna do? There was no plan B. Third Dawn came out in March 7th of 2001. It had its 3D client unit, after which came out Lord Blackthorn's Revenge, which came out on February 24, 2002. It features our favorite rebellious nobleman. A comic book was even released to explain the story. It follows a woman named Dawn who fights Lord Blackthorn and leads her troops to defend Minoc. Age of Shadows came out on February 11th, 2003. It added new lands, new classes, 16 new necromancy spells, house customization, and new item system, which caused mass exit of the veteran players. They saw the game changed from skill-based to item-based, which was no good. This was last expansion released by Origin Systems, because sadly in 2004 gaming studio was shut down by EA. EA took over the game and moved its headquarters to Fairfax, Virginia. The first expansion they released in November 2nd, 2004 is Samurai Empire. The expansion added Tokon Island, which was more Japanese inspired, along with ninja and samurai class. Followed up by second expansion under EA, Mundane's Legacy, released on August 30th of 2005. It added new race of elves, new skills, and dungeons. In June of 2006, EA purchased creators of Dark Age of Camelot, Mythic Entertainment, and gave a lot of its online IPs, including Ultima Online, to them. Under Mythic Entertainment, they released another expansion, Stygian Abyss, which came out on September 8, 2009. This added Stygian Abyss, Terramore, Home of the Gargoyles, and Gargoyles themselves. On October 12th of 2010, High Seas expansion came out, which improved fishing and other sea-related stuff. And finally, in 2015, final expansion, Time of Legends came out, which added new areas, new skills, and better virtue system. In 2018, 14-day free trial went free to play, which is called Endless Journey, but it's still restricted. If you want full game without restrictions, you have to have a subscription. Ultima Online quickly became a legend. It was awarded 8 Guinness World Records in 2008. It was first inductee in Game Developers' Choice Online Award Hall of Fame. At its peak, it had around 250,000 players, and its revenue reached $11.3 million. Origin Systems truly lived up to its motto. They created a living world. Maybe UO has lost its popularity, but friends gained, societies built, families created, and beautiful memories made will forever remain in hearts and minds of the players. I hope you enjoyed my video about Ultima Online, and I hope I did justice to this brilliant game. I would love to hear your thoughts about Ultima Online, and perhaps you can share a couple of your adventures down in the comments below. Before I leave, I want to mention a couple of books that really helped me in my research. Of course, Richard Garriott's Explore Create is a must-read book for any Ultima fan. Through the Moon Gates by Andrea Contato is also a great read and goes into depths of developments of many Ultima games. These two books, alongside with Wes Locker's Braving Britannia, helped me greatly in my research, and I would definitely recommend them all.
If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to leave a comment. Thank you very much.